we
Welcome to OMG Talk Show for small business owners, workaholics, and whiz-bang entrepreneurs. Here's your hosts, Paul and Sarah Finkelstein.
Hey everybody, this is Paul Finkelstein with OMGTalk.com, the Small Business Owner Podcast, entrepreneur, whiz-bang entrepreneur, and workaholics. Today we have our special guest today, all the way from South Africa. His name is Tendai Gerald. I met him actually in the middle of the pandemic, probably a few years ago already. So now we're almost best friends by now. So meet Tendai Gerald, entrepreneur we'll call you. So how you doing, Tendai, and what time is it over there?
I'm doing very good, Paul, and thank you for having me. This side, I think it's about 10 past 3 now, p.m.
Yeah,
And that
fantastic.
side,
So it's 10 past 3. There might be a little bit of delay. We'll see how it goes. It's about 9:10 a.m. here. So the 10-minute part's right. And then 9 a.m. Eastern and 3
sure.
South African. So let's dive into some questions that you wanted to answer and inspire our audience. My Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I'm sure you'll share it later. So the first question is, what has kept you away from home so long? And what does that
Uh,
mean?
what that means is you're a young man trying to push for dreams and trying to make them become something real, trying to make a trademark out of yourself. Sometimes it takes you so far away from home. Those dreams are not found while you're sitting at home. But then the times take you much farther than you would have expected. And then for me, what has kept me away from for that long is my desire to push on life and trying to realize the fact that life doesn't come on its own. Can I hang up on that code that just coming in? My apologies.
Okay. I hear some kind of music, perhaps.
Yes, it's a phone.
Okay. Stay tuned just a second. Not necessarily technical difficulties, but maybe a cat entered the room or something like
So
that.
I had to fix up something. Sincere
Not,
apologies.
not a
But
problem at all.
what I'm saying, sure, sure. So maybe just to get back, apologies for that disturbance. Is I'm a young man who is pushed by realizing that nothing comes to life without pushing the dream and making it a reality. And that will may sometimes take you so far away from home. And in my case, that says in the scenario, and it gets difficult, and you become a lone wolf by virtue and not by noise. And but the one thing you realize in that process is life is not based on solo journeys alone. It's based on the networks that you create along the way. I've been brought up by people I never thought would really change my life. But the first time I had confidence in what I was doing is when I had my first mentor. He was a great man, Michael. He he really showed confidence in my ability to speak, and ever since I've tried to try and develop my talent, bring a business towards what I'm doing, and that's what I've been working on so far. So that's what I mean when I say staying away from home for a while.
Right.
Yes.
Let's dive into question number 2. I don't know if that's your microphone or somebody snoring. I know I have my TV on mute. It's gone now. But number 2 is, how do you maintain principles, and what does that mean? What's a
Uh,
principle?
maintaining principles means as you are alone at times, you need to discipline yourself in trying to become the person you want. There are a lot of things, a lot of hurdles, but sometimes you need certain number of principles that you don't go off no matter what. For me, one of those principles has been respect and humility, respecting the people that I've met along the way and appreciating what they've done for me to be the person I am today. Just Masters has been an organization that really helped me at some point really to develop myself. And my principles are always based on that: humility, respect, and appreciating what I get from people and what I give when they appreciate as well. So for me, that's the principle of my life.
Excellent. So, what pushes you to fight for bigger goals? Do you have a story in there?
Sorry?
What pushes you to fight for bigger goals? Do you have a story you want to share with us?
Yes, definitely. What pushes me to fight for bigger goals is mainly after spending a bit of some time now trying to become someone in life. What has pushed me is telling myself I have to make something out of these years that I've spent out. Otherwise, it won't mean anything. My story is to motivate maybe someone else, the next generation, or maybe the next person to become a person who is self-sustained, someone with humility, and someone who is just willing to really grow in life and have an impact on the world. The community you stay in, like, how do you contribute to the communities we are in? So for me, it's all centered around those aspects. And that's what is really pushed me to have bigger goals because I just don't want to be a living grave where ideas are there but cannot be extracted. While I'm living, I want my ideas to live and be extracted to help the world at large. And it's not an easy task, but prove relevance in the world to be something or someone. And yeah, that's what makes Tendai.
All right, let's dive a little bit deeper and tell us how do you, what's your intent to impact your community in a positive way?
You see, the world we're living in at the moment is affected by quite a number of things. It's social issues, family issues, broken families at some point. And for someone to be in a community and be able to bring something, especially to the youth, like for myself, coaching soccer has been a way of, I feel, contributing to these young kids in terms of developing themselves with a mindset that they can achieve something despite what's going on in the world around them. And that's really something that matters to me a lot.
Okay, so how is youth going to benefit from your contribution to community? I gather you're referring to you being young.
In a good way, though.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. What I mean is, um, we can't have a society that's built around like criminality and things like that. And I feel some of it comes from us not having something to do, maybe at times as the youth, and maybe the hard economy. So if you can bring something and say, from you playing soccer, you can become not only a soccer star, but you can develop a business around it, build a soccer academy. But to get that from the first-hand experience you get from playing soccer, you don't even have to be good. I'm originally from Zimbabwe, but I try always to say wherever I am, if I can't contribute something positive that can grow, something that I can look at 5 years down the line, then I don't think I'm really giving relevance to my existence and the world at large. I'm just someone who cries out, and that's an idea I try to develop as well. And just seeing these young kids, especially the ones I coach soccer when I'm playing with them, the energy, the joy they get from that, and socialization, it creates that social bond that's lacking now with them. Unfortunately, I have to say the phones, they have really taken over the world electronic media. It's, those elements seem like they're not really necessary, but when you see them interact, it builds them as beings generally. What I feel from my side.
I have a curious question before I ask. I have maybe two or three more questions for you. But
Yes.
this little surprise question is: are those sunglasses, or do you have like
It's
an
spectacles. They are
a
spectacles. I have eye problems. Yeah, yeah. Let me show you.
yeah? I was just
Yeah.
wondering if you could take them off for like the next three questions so people could see your eyes. a little bit
All right,
better
all right.
on screen. Perfect.
Okay, just to
Uh,
make it clear, I'm a bit sensitive to light. That's why they recommended these ones for me.
okay.
So I'll try though to stay for a while
Yeah,
and
at
then
least
I'll
for
put
one
it back.
question. Then you can put them back on if you get a little sensitive.
All right.
So, how are you influencing digitalization and globalization to the community?
From my side, at the school I'm trying to launch coding and robotics. We have what we call Future Kids. It's a program where it teaches them basic coding from Scratch Junior to Scratch Junior application. And I feel if even just a few kids like five can benefit from such a program, they can influence the rest of their peers to get much interest in coding and programming as well. So it's something that came to my mind when I realized that we're getting into a digital world and literacy around such aspects is really needed, especially in Africa. And I really hope that much attention can be given to it to develop that skill, to develop our economy as well.
Okay, so what what business ideas have you launched to support Q6? What's Q6? Oh,
Question
question
six.
six. Right, I got it.
Okay,
It's the morning for me.
it's fine. It's fine. I understand. So can you go again?
What business ideas have you launched to support your ideas in globalization in the community and digitalization?
For me, I'm not coming as coming in as a successful someone. I have to be honest on that. I'm coming as a young, ambitious man trying to push dreams and making someone else realize that if they can push and have the determination I'm having to push my own goals, they can make it as well. I have a mentor. I'm being mentored in terms of entrepreneurship, trying to start up a business. It's something I want. I feel if find details about the business idea. I'll wait a moment, maybe for the next interview in the future, I'll release it out. But what I want to say to people out there, anyone in the world, that if you have the dream, if you have the wish, then you can work on it. Headers can be there. But if you have the zeal and energy to push on it, you can definitely do something and someone.
And the last question, before I ask your last question, I will ask you if you have any last thoughts as the last question. But this last question I have is, how do you see Armello? And I'm not sure if Armello is a city, a town, a place, or a person, or a mentor.
Sound.
How do you see the town of Armello developing in the next 5 years through your contributions?
Like I indicated in the earlier interview, in the earlier question, I mean, if just five kids from the area can get enough coding skills or programming skills or anything digital from what I'm contributing eh, and apply it for the development of the town, if they can be able to handle such things in the future, I think that will definitely improve the town of Emelo. We need maybe systems upgrades. They are the children of the place and they should be equipped with those skills. So if just a few of them can attain a skill set from coding and robotics that will benefit MLO, I think that would be a great achievement for.
And before I wrap up,
Yeah.
would you like to share with us any last thoughts you have before I wrap up?
Courage is not the absence of fear, rather the realization of the fact that something is more important than fear. That's what I have for the people.
Excellent. So as a wrap up, we've been talking with Tendai Gerald, an entrepreneur in the South African area. He told us what kept himself away from home so long and how he maintains his principles and what pushes him to fight for bigger goals. He also told us his intent to impact the community positively and how youth is going to benefit from his contribution to his community. And I gather youth could be he likes working with young people or young entrepreneurs, or he's young himself. He also told us about how he's influencing digitalization and globalization in his community based on that prior question. and he told us about business ideas that he's launching and how he's going to impact Armello, the town of Armello in South Africa, I believe, developing in the next 5 years through his contributions. Thanks so much for being here. Stick around as we play the outro. Tendai, we'll chat for just a couple of minutes. We don't use up your data over there. Here we go, and we'll play the intro in just a second.
You've been listening to the OMG Online Meet and Greet Talk Show. Just for listening, grab 28 grand prizes at omgtalk.com or onlinemeetandgreet.com.